Hey, coach, I think I'm ready. The wait is over.
Cannon.
It's about time I suit up and get ready for business.
Bless up, spike down. What's going on, Andrew? What's going on, Benji? I'm excited to be with you. I'm your personal trainer, Zach Kaufman, aka ZK, and I'm ready to go. You are about to be ready to go. Let's go!
Wake up, y'all don't want it. Down to the wire, better put Marlo on it.
As always, we're going to start out with a warm-up. The warm-up's going to get your blood flowing, get you doing some of the movements you'll use when you get to the actual workout. I always like to start with jogging, gets you moving, gets your blood flowing. Usually I only do it 2 times. If you want to do too slow and then too fast, that works perfectly fine. I go directly into knee hugs. On knee hugs, you want to get your knees as high as you can, keep your back nice and straight the entire time you're doing them, and get your knee as close to your chest as possible. I really like using the quad ham stretch with a lot of my athletes because it works so many things at once. You're stretching your quad by grabbing your foot, pulling it up towards your back. It should stay in line with your leg on that side, not out to the side. And then when you lean forward, you're stretching your hamstring as well. And as you're doing that, you're working on balance. So it hits all 3 of those different areas in one stretch. Hips are one of the most essential areas for a lot of athletes and are often ignored. So hip stepovers are one of my favorites for really loosening up the hips. I like to do 1 set backwards and 1 set forward when I do hip stepovers. So you're stepping back like you're stepping over something, whether you're imagining a cone, whether you're imagining a hurdle, something like that. Get your leg as high as possible in that full 180 degree motion from back to front and from front to back. The lunge is a movement that all athletes use in some form while they're moving, while they're lunging towards something, away from something, constantly using. So I love incorporating the lunge. This is around the world lunges that you're going to do in warm-ups. You're going to step 1 to the front, 1 to the side, and then 1 back, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. So just like you're going around the world, I give you a front view, I give you a side view. As you go forward, then you go to the side, and then you go back. Always keep your back straight and your shoulders back. Make sure you're not leaning forward. That's the biggest error I typically see. And also make sure your knee's getting just to the edge of the grass or the ground, and then back up without bouncing off the ground. I love including squats. They're another great way to really loosen up the hips, to get your legs warmed up. Obviously, we're not adding weight, so it's not going to be real strenuous, but focus on doing it with perfect form, keeping your toes, knees, and hips in line, getting down as low as you can, and exploding back up. With squats, you always want to aim for that 90-degree angle there at your hips, from your feet to your knees to your butt. That should be the 90-degree angle or lower. Always remember your weight should stay on your heels and your knees should not come out past your toes. We'll finish with defensive slides. It's just like playing basketball. You're sitting your hips down, keep them nice and low. This is another that's working on your hips. Start out nice and slow, small steps, no more than 6 to 8 inches, and you're going one direction and then coming back the other direction. Do 1 each direction, and then do 1 each direction fast.
They ain't nothing I can't do. They ain't nothing I can't do. I can't do. They ain't nothing I can't do. They ain't nothing I can't do. Look, it ain't nothing I can't do. Might walk on.
We're going to start out simple by building a great foundation of speed. So we're starting with basic, straightforward, all-out sprints. Full speed. Make sure that first step is forward. We don't want any hesitation steps. Explode and get out. I love 90-degree sprints for athletes and especially for spikeball, because you have so many times you're changing direction quickly, especially side to side. So we'll be working on them. You'll do 4 sets of 15 yards on each side. So you'll go 4 one way, 4 the other. I'm fine whether you do it every other or whether you do 4 at once and then 4 the other way. On to the shuttle run. One of my favorites. Set up the cones 5 yards apart each. You're starting out sprinting to one side. I want you to change the direction you're sprinting to first, so that you're going one direction one time and then the opposite direction the next. You're sprinting 5 yards, back the full 10, and then back that original 5 and finishing in the middle. Do not stop until you pass that middle cone. Look, I know you're tired at this point, which is great. That's what we're looking for. This is your most difficult workout of the week, and you're almost finished. We're going to move into a circuit. On the circuit, you're doing each of these exercises 2 times through, 10 repetitions each. Start with your squat jumps, jumping as high as you can. When you land, your legs should hit a 45-degree angle, and you're exploding right back up as high as you can every single time. 10 of those, and you move right into the next exercise. Now we're moving into single leg hip ups. You're starting with your heel on the ground. You can see it's my right heel down. My other leg, the thigh stays even with my opposite leg. When I'm going up, I'm pressing through the heel, squeezing the back of my leg, so my hamstrings and my glutes, and raising my body up as high as I can go. Try to hold for 1 to 2 seconds at the top, and then make sure you do 10 on one leg, 10 on the other, and then it's on to your next exercise. You're going straight from those hip ups into lunge jumps. You start in a lunge position. You're jumping as high as you can and switch from one leg to the other. Try to control your body, stay balanced, and land so that your back knee just barely grazes the ground and you're right back up. Again, just like the lunges we did earlier, keep your back as straight as possible. Don't use that to thrust yourself up. Really press through your front leg. Finally, the last exercise is going to be single leg butt kicks. You're starting on one leg, jumping as high as you can, and kick yourself in the butt with that leg that you are jumping off of. So for each of those 4 exercises, you're doing each one 10 times, move on to the next one, and then you are doing that same cycle 2 full times through. So hit those squat jumps, hit those hip ups, hit those lunge jumps, and then hit those single leg butt kicks. Do it all one more time and you are finished. Alright, there's a couple things I want to leave you guys with. I'm really excited for you to get started. First thing, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to tell going through that the day 1 workout is going to be the most intense. It's going to be difficult, especially early on as you're getting used to. It is on purpose that way. You're going to be doing tournaments on the weekend. I went in earlier in the week workout to be your most intense. I will send you very shortly another one you'll do later in the week, which won't be as many repetitions. It won't be nearly as time consuming. So make sure you get this one done early in the week, and then you don't have to worry about that again. You'll be recovered. You'll be ready to go by the time you guys get to your weekend tournaments. You'll be all set for that. A couple recommendations I have that I think will be helpful. Number 1, tracking my workouts has been something that's been huge for me when it comes to lifting weight, when it comes to adding speed, getting faster. I'd highly recommend that you try and track your times, whether it's on straight ahead sprints, that you do some kind of 25-yard sprint, 40-yard sprint, 50-yard sprint, whatever you want to make it, time it, see if you can beat that see how much you're improving as you go. That's going to be something that really helps encourage you, really helps you get better, and helps you see your progress, even though sometimes it's hard to tell that without an actual specific number saying, hey, you improved 2 seconds, you improved 3 seconds, you improved 4 seconds, whatever it is. I highly recommend that. Another thing, if you guys video yourselves, send it to me. I would love to break it down, look for anything I see that could be improved, anything with form, any tips, advice, anything you're doing really well that I just want to have you continue and make sure we're all set to go on that. Send me video. I would love to break that down for you. And even just to see yourselves, whether you want to compare how fast you are, whether you want to share it with other people. It's always great to have that video and be able to see what you look like, where you're doing well, where you're making mistakes. So I highly recommend that. A couple other philosophical things when it comes to my workouts, when it comes to a lot of workouts that I do. Everything you are doing is at full speed. So that's important when it comes to things like rest time. Try not to wait too long. I'm not going to give you a specific rest time, but as you know in Spikeball, you're not sitting around waiting for 3 to 5 minutes in between a point. You are constantly right back into action. It might be a couple seconds while someone chases a ball, something like that, that you get a break. But try to keep your rest times low and go right into it. So a recommendation, if you're really looking for one, I'd say like 45 to 60 seconds maximum, and then you go right back into the next exercise. For the circuit, no rest time. We're working opposite muscles. It typically goes from quads to hamstrings, front of leg to the back of the leg. So you don't need any rest time. Just keep that as intense as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're done. All right. So that's all you need to do on that one. The other thing, we are building a foundation burst. So Andrew, I know you requested some stuff with a speed ladder, agility ladder. I would love to add that in eventually. Burst. We always start out by building a foundation. We're going to build up that speed, that explosiveness, that acceleration. Once we have that, we're going to add some of the more fancy things, some of the more fun things, like an agility ladder, like some footwork stuff, footwork drills, adding some actual spikeball skills and work inside your workout. That's going to make it a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more varied, which will be great when we get there. But I don't want to start there from the beginning. First, we got to build that foundation, make sure everything else is good, make sure you're fast, make sure you're explosive, and then we'll add in some other stuff from that point. That's all I have for you guys. I'm very excited for you to get started. Keep me updated how it goes. Ask me any questions. I'm serious. Hit me up. You have my email. You have my Facebook. I'm the same on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Hit me up. Ask me questions. Ask me for advice. I would love to help you. I'm excited to do this. You're my first team that I'm doing this with. So I just want to go all in and maximize it, make it as beneficial for you as possible. And I'm sure it'll be beneficial to me. You guys enjoy your workouts, do great in your tournaments. Hopefully I can even meet up with you. I'll be doing a couple tournaments throughout the summer, so I'll keep you updated on that. Enjoy, fellas.